After Oleksandr Usyk became undisputed heavyweight champion for the second time against Daniel Dubois, talk has been about his standing among the legends of boxing heavyweights. Gareth Davies has had his say on this discussion, and has included some controversial rankings. Gareth Davies is one of the voices of boxing, certainly in Britain. A constant figure on the scene of any important fight, with over 30 years' experience, working for the likes of TalkSport, The Telegraph, Fox, and ESPN. 1. Lennox Lewis. Professional boxing record. 41-2, a potential strange choice to many boxing fans at number 1. Not to diminish Lennox Lewis' achievements, of course, as he dominated boxing and suffered only 2 defeats to Oliver McCall and Hasim Rahman. A 3-time heavyweight champion, including being undisputed champion, and with victories over Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and Vitali Klitschko, you can't dispute his standing as one of the greatest. 2. Muhammad Ali. Professional boxing record, 56-5. The name most would assume would top such a list. His 56-5 record doesn't tell the whole story. His personality outside the ring was controversial, but that is what made him a true fan favorite. 2 fights in particular stand out during Ali's career: the Thriller in Manila against Joe Frazier and the Rumble in the Jungle against Foreman. The greatest knew how to build up a fight and never disappointed when the action started. During a difficult time in the USA, Ali was exiled because he refused to join the armed forces. This furthered his legendary status, and even now, over 40 years since his last fight, he remains the most well-known boxer of all time. 3. Joe Louis. Professional boxing record, 66-3. Joe Louis is one of the pioneers of boxing. 3 defeats in 69 fights, to Rocky Marciano, Ezzard Charles, and Max Schmeling, didn't diminish what the Brown Bomber accomplished. He was heavyweight champion for 12 years until his short-lived retirement in 1949. Away from the ring, Louis was one of the first African Americans to be adored by the U.S. public, thanks in part to his historic rematch against German boxer, Schmeling, in 1938. 4. George Foreman. Professional boxing record, 76-5. The late George Foreman's record of 76-5 is nothing short of incredible. Big George was still winning bouts and world titles at the age of 48. Perhaps best known these days for grills, Foreman had a reputation for his strength and was only knocked out once in his 81-fight career. His fight against Muhammad Ali, dubbed the Rumble in the Jungle, is perhaps one of the most famous fights in history. With victories over Joe Frazier and Ken Norton, and an Olympic medal to boot, Foreman is deserving of his position on this list. 5. Larry Holmes. Professional boxing record, 69-6. Larry Holmes ended his boxing career with a record of 69-6, including going undefeated in his first 48 fights. Holmes' career spanned nearly 30 years, and included victories over the likes of Ken Norton, Muhammad Ali, and Leon Spinks before suffering back-to-back losses to Michael Spinks. The Easton Assassins' longevity and left jab are legendary in the boxing world and are responsible for his high standing in Gareth Davies' list. 6. Mike Tyson. Professional boxing record, 50-7. The youngest ever heavyweight champion, and perhaps the most feared fighter of all time. Mike Tyson was a feared man, but a wonderful boxer for the fans to watch. Iron Mike had issues outside the ring, which often caused problems inside. Famously, he suffered his first defeat against Buster Douglas in one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. The baddest man on the planet returned to form up until other issues arose, and he spent time in prison. Tyson then made another comeback and the aforementioned biting incident with Evander Holyfield occurred. He ended his career with 50 victories and 7 losses, one of which he suffered in 2024 at the age of 58, against YouTuber Jake Paul. 7. Oleksandr Usyk. Professional boxing record, 24-0. Having the current undisputed heavyweight champion in 7th position could be deemed controversial, but he's still got time on his side to stake a claim higher up this list once he finally calls it a day on his illustrious career. A lot of talk has been about whether the Ukrainian can be called the greatest of all time or whether that's still too premature. After defeating bigger fighters like Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois, and Anthony Joshua twice each, the cat has shown that he is an incredible operator. A few more fights may place him higher on a revised list. 8. Evander Holyfield. Professional boxing record, 44-10. There are many aspects of Evander Holyfield's career that can be discussed. From beginning as a cruiserweight and going undefeated in that division, to moving up to heavyweight and defeating the likes of George Foreman, Buster Douglas, and Larry Holmes. Perhaps Holyfield's most notable moment, however, was his rematch with Mike Tyson. After defeating Iron Mike via TKO, the subsequent rematch ended in a DQ for Tyson after he infamously bit off a piece of the real deal's ear. Holyfield went on to fight for many years after this, up until the age of 48. In his later years, he suffered defeats to the likes of Nikolai Valuev, Sultan Ibragimov, and Larry Donald, which tarnished his overall record of 44-10. 9. Rocky Marciano. Professional boxing record, 49-0. Rocky Marciano was one of the first superstars of heavyweight boxing, and is in fact the only heavyweight champion to go undefeated throughout his whole career. The only thing that hinders Marciano's position on this list is the era in which he fought. The Brockton blockbuster never fought outside the USA, but with 43 knockouts from his 49 victories, he will always be in the conversation. 10. Vitali Klitschko. Professional boxing record, 45-2. The older of the formidable Klitschko brothers, Dr. Iron Fist suffered only 2 defeats in 47 outings, including a somewhat controversial stoppage against Lennox Lewis, and a shock defeat to Chris Bird, a late replacement. Klitschko was on his way to a routine victory but suffered a torn rotator cuff which caused his corner to throw in the towel in the 9th round. The Ukrainian won multiple heavyweight championships, and dominated for almost 2 decades. The only thing that stopped him becoming an undisputed champion was a reluctance to fight his brother, Vladimir, who held the other belts in the division.